Welcome back to another episode of Wind Down Wednesday. Today we are going to be talking about another dry January topic, but what is your favorite beverage to drink at a party or just really in general when you're not drinking alcohol?
I think it depends a little bit on the situation and what would be available. I would say, generally speaking, I like a ginger option.
Like what specifically?
So, ginger beer, ginger ale, ginger tea, Gosling ginger beer is amazing. It's really good spiked as well. But, if you're the designated driver or anything like that, still fantastic by itself. Um, I always, initially when we were talking about non-alcoholic options, I always remember as a kid being at weddings and it's like all the adults were there as Shirley Temples and we felt really cool. I think now they're probably a bit too sweet for me, but when you were a kid, that was like, a really fun option.
I was just trying to get her to say ginger beer so I could pour that because I wanted my ginger beer.
I mean, I like it. Thanks for sharing.
I mean, it's your favorite technically. So, funny story, just tangenting about ginger beer. My first introduction to this was as a literal 4, 5, 6 year old child. There was a gas station down the road from where my family lived, and they had this one ginger beer that was the strongest thing in the world. It was just this intense ginger that we'd actually put it in a freezer for as long as we could before it would almost freeze, and then pull it out so the ginger would be less potent because it was just too much ginger. Now,
This is medicinal.
yeah, now this is what I search for. If I can find something that's like this really strong, intense ginger flavor, it's great. It's gonna be wonderful. That's what I look for. I'm someone, if I'm at a party, I can't actually drink soda anymore. I stopped drinking soda, I think it was 2015. It's just sports, athletics, things like that. I was trying not to drink as much soda. So now I cannot drink a full can of soda, otherwise I will get sick. Well, dark soda, I should say. So what I do is usually seltzer waters. So what is the one your mom always has? It's not LaCroix.
Bubbly?
Yes, bubbly.
They have some caffeinated options too, depending on what you need to be prepared for.
Late party caffeine is always an option. But the bubblies, they have a lot of really good flavors, I feel like. And they just kind of go well with a lot of things if you do want to spike it. But if not, it's just a really good drink to have. It's a little more flavorful, I feel like, than LaCroix or some of the other things out there. There's a lot of really good sparkling water options out there right now that don't taste like TV static or like your hand fell asleep. So that's typically my go-to if I'm at a party and I'm not drinking because I have the DD or just taking a week off, whatever it may be.
Can we just go back to the flavor profile of your hand fell asleep?
It's a thing. That's what LaCroix tastes like. It tastes like TV static and like your hand fell asleep.
I didn't know it was described that way.
Someone tell me I'm wrong. Because it's a thing, right?
I know, it makes sense. But
it's a thing.
Anyways. It's my hand fell asleep, bro.
It's I'll just tell you. But when you're at a party and you don't want to drink, having some good options is always really nice, especially if you're either hosting a party. It's good to provide some non-alcoholic options. And now there's also a ton of non-alcoholic beers, non-alcoholic wines, which we're going to be talking about those more throughout
the athletic beers, or I guess I know we'll talk more about. We don't really talk about beer that much. I'm not really a huge beer drinker, but I grew up in Wisconsin and now I live in Cincinnati area, so both places have a lot of breweries. So, having a non-alcoholic beer sometimes is nice.
It's a good thing, but yeah,
still has carbs, but I just count it as a snack.
We'll talk more about that in some other short format videos when we're kind of talking about what are some good non-alcoholic alcohols, basically. So either wines, whiskeys, gins, tequilas, beers, all that stuff. But if you're just having a party and you also just want to have something to drink, having something in your hand to drink really helps mitigate the urge to order something. So if you are at a bar and you're like, no, I'm not drinking because I'm the DD, it's going to be easier for you to not drink if you still order something. So if you order just a ginger beer or a Sprite or just a seltzer, something like that, that's not spiked, it helps to curb that desire to have something in your hand to drink.
Because again, like if you're the driver, it's like you're still there to like hang out with your people, have a good time. You know, you're just also part babysitter depending on your friend group.
Really part babysitter. But outside of the party celebration scene, I feel like my favorite go-to just drink is either going to be honestly lemonade. I don't care what time of year it is. Like I love lemonade, or having just like tea. Tea is wonderful. There's black tea, there's herbal tea, there's white tea. There's so many different types of
Oolong
teas.
tea.
Like all these different type of teas that you can have throughout the day, throughout the seasons that are going to still taste good and fit the environment you're in. So if it's Christmas, there's like gingerbread style teas or peppermint teas if it's like just in the winter. But if it's like summer, there's these nice light lemon teas or things like that that
Chamomile in
always
the
fit.
evening.
Yeah, that's a big one that we do. I know a lot of chamomile, vanilla tea, stuff like that in the afternoon,
Hmm.
evenings. There's something you can always have.
I think to some like depending on, you know, what you're in the mood for, like serving it sometimes like in a cocktail style glass, or I don't know, giving yourself a little like lemon slice just to feel fancy. Like you can do all lots of the fun things related to making a cocktail, but then just not have the alcohol if you're avoiding that.
That was a big thing I saw recently where people were saying if you're going to do dry January or dry week, dry month, or going sober, whatever it is, anytime you make a mocktail or you're making
Mhm.
just a fun beverage for yourself, serve it like you would serve a cocktail. So that's going to be a garnish, or that's going to be putting it in a lowball,
Mhm.
highball, cocktail coupe, whatever it may be. Still do those things because your
It
brain is
feels
still going to be
fun.
like, hey, this is a cocktail. This is what I want, even though there's no alcohol in it.
Mhm.
It helps basically curb that desire to have the alcohol better, I guess you could say. So that's why one of the things I love is we just have like a ton of these like low ball glasses. I think we serve almost everything in these because it's just fun. So before we peace out for the week and tell you guys to have a good rest of your week, last thing I'm gonna say about good old ginger beer here. If you want to make a fun ginger beer mocktail, you just take your ginger beer, add some lime, and then add just like a little bit of honey to it. If it's a stronger ginger beer, goes a long way. It tastes delicious, and I highly
Mhm.
recommend trying it. But like I said, cheers.
Cheers.
You guys have a good week.